Welcome to the Futurist Forum. We are here for the second podcast, and the aim of this podcast is to bring in leaders from various sectors, from training and learning and development department, to share their journey and also learn about the sector and how it has evolved over a period of time. Because we deal with people at the end of the day, and we have here Miss Anastasia, representing the real estate sector. She's going to share about her amazing journey and learning over a period of time. And I'm sure all of you are going to enjoy this conversation. Thank you. Welcome to the Futurist Forum. This platform was born from simple observation that organizations don't fail because of lack of vision. They fail when leadership capability doesn't keep pace with reality. I'm Dr. Suyash Bhatt. Through this forum, the Futurist Forum, I'll engage with leaders across sectors, understanding the judgment, learning, and responsibility evolve in fast-moving environment like Dubai. Today, I'm joined with my guest, Anastasia Grigoras, a senior L&D leader from real estate sector, and I'll request her to introduce herself here.
Thank you so much, first of all, Suyash, for this invite. And for your guests, I'm Anastasia, or Anastasia, call me, whatever you prefer. My role is a training manager, so I work in L&D department. However, I work in real estate. Just to make sure your audience know in what industry I work, and then we'll discuss a little bit about that. I've been in Dubai for 11 years. Before that, I used to work in aviation, and then only for the past 3 years, I'm in L&D, and I'm enjoying it so much.
Great. So welcome to this podcast. And before I begin the podcast, I would like to ask you this question: how did this thought of getting into learning and development come in your mind? So did you plan it, or did something happen over a period of time while you were in aviation? And if you could share that journey.
I think life happened and life pushed me towards what I wanted maybe and what I needed without me knowing that. So it happened very randomly, I would say. I was just going for lots of trainings when I was still in aviation, working as a flight attendant. I would attend different trainings, not only within the company, but outside, different kind of events, motivational speakers. I always loved to learn more and more. And then thanks to Toastmasters, which is a non-profit organization for public speaking and leadership skills, I understood, and people telling me and giving me feedback that I'm good at delivering different kind of presentation sessions. Therefore, slowly, I transitioned into presenting something, teaching something, training, like short session first. I would be helping and assisting friends of mine, colleagues of mine that time, in delivering full day trainings. Then slowly, I realized that, it seems that I could be good at that. And then I got certified. I also got certified as a life coach, which helps me a lot in this field. So then I decided, okay, now it's time to move completely from my previous job, which was a flight attendant, and move fully into L&D and basically deliver trainings.
Great. So that was interesting thought process where you were attending yourself training, and from there you picked it up that you could do it, and you got a feedback. Amazing. So why real estate? Like if I were to ask you, this is like a dramatic 360-degree turn from aviation to real estate. So if you could throw some.
This also happened randomly and by chance. I think I'm someone who takes opportunities. If opportunity comes, I'm not always looking for them. I'm just open to receive them. So I was working actually with few training centers in Dubai that few years back, and then with a colleague of mine, we're also reaching out to real estate real estate companies in order to give external trainings. And then it happened that one of the real estate companies, which I currently work in, the previous manager that time, L&D director, he met me and this colleague of mine, and he actually loved our idea of a training that we wanted to provide to them. And then when I had to follow up with him, he actually said, "Oh, I'm so busy. I'm so sorry I didn't manage to speak with the CEO because I'm so busy looking for a soft skills trainer." And this was on the phone. And when I heard that, I'm like, okay, can I apply? because that's what I actually do, but for multiple companies from different industries. So I'm like, can I apply? And he's like, do you want? Why not? So I just went for the interview. I did a demo session. They loved it, and they just basically hired me as a full-time soft skill trainer that time. And then my previous manager left, and he put me basically in his place with the title of a training manager. And that's how I ended up in real estate without actually looking for that job. Just the job ended in my hands.
That's very interesting. In fact, real estate, especially if you talk about Dubai, it's all the only thing that comes in people's mind is fast cars and then real estate. These are the two things that come. So yeah, I mean it's a fast growing sector here in Dubai. If I were to probably ask you maybe a more deeper question in terms of what inspires you from leadership perspective, and who's your probably ideal when you talk about leadership, capability development, and from an individual perspective.
Obviously, I love leaders who appreciate learning because obviously that's what I do. And not all the leaders, I must say, that I encountered or I met are having as a value learning or continuous learning, self-development. Yes, there are people, obviously not everyone, we don't want to generalize here. There are people who are very focused in developing the skill that is needed or the knowledge that is needed in their field only, and they forget about the soft skills part, basically. Or maybe knowing a little bit of other things as well, something that is maybe totally unrelated to your job, but still you want to broaden your consciousness, your knowledge about every single thing. So those leaders I appreciate the most, actually, who are continuously themselves improving and then pushing, recommending, just coaching even their employees or their team members in order for them to get better and better. So I think a true leader always wants to see his team members growing. Otherwise, we'll be stuck, and then no one is growing, the team is not growing, the company, the organization, and so on. So I appreciate this kind of leaders a lot.
Right. So, from a sector perspective or from your job perspective, what is the main difference when you talk about training, say, people from aviation sector? Again, we are talking about people development, not technical roles, but from, say, customer service or those people leadership roles that are there in aviation to probably real estate. So how is it different? And in terms of also the kind of people that you meet with. So have you seen some difference in
Definitely.
this? Yeah. If you could
Definitely.
share some
And
thoughts
not
on that.
just aviation. Aviation, I did trainings for other sales people that not real estate, for oil and gas, finance as well. And I've noticed a particular difference, all these people compared to the real estate people, yeah, the real estate salespeople. The main difference is that, not to offend anyone, is just the circumstances that they are in. Real estate agents who are my colleagues, actually, I'm sorry actually that they are so busy, because clients are always messaging, calling, which is a good thing, right? And they always have to be on the phone. That's one thing that actually impacts them a lot during a training session. So because I deliver trainings for real estate agents and I delivered trainings for all the other types of professionals, it's hard to be focused in a training room in order to learn and at the same time to reply to your clients. Because obviously, if you don't reply to your clients, not most probably, but you have a chance to lose them, right? Or at least this is what they think. They are afraid not to lose that customer. Compared to all the other professionals, they are more okay to leave their phone in the bag or screen down and be focused in the training session. So, or we can call this focus, the attention, the span of attention. Unfortunately, it's
Is low.
lower just because of this tech distraction. And this is something obviously that impacts learning a lot. So I had to adapt big time. That's something that I had to change completely the training sessions. Maybe it's the same topic, but I have to deliver it, instead of one day, do it in 3 hours. because they can't take away more time out of their day for learning, or even sessions for 1 hour just. Yeah, so this is one thing that big time differentiates them.
Right. And in terms of, say, skill set, if we were to ask, what does it take to be successful in, say, in real estate company? Say, a fresher listening to this podcast, or maybe a senior who is probably in aviation sector who's listening to this podcast, and they would like to train themselves to be in or switch careers. So, what is that one skill set which is like a make or break, which you have seen that is really important if you want to enter this sector? Else you should figure out maybe some other place where you would like to go.
What came into my mind first when you're speaking, if we were to compare, for example, aviation, obviously you need to follow some rules. If you don't follow rules, it's aviation, of course. There's a risk, right? However, in real estate, I think it's the opposite. It's actually not following the rules, but don't get me wrong, doesn't mean breaking the law. It's actually not being strict or not being rigid. It's actually being so adaptable and so much differentiating yourself from others that you need to stand out by getting out of your comfort zone, by doing something differently from others, because there's so many agents that offer the same, basically. Yeah, you have the same product in the market, but how you sell it, it depends on you. So what differentiates you? Why should I come to you when someone else is selling me the same product, right? So this is one thing. And the other one, I would say, persistence. Not everyone has the persistence to continue to keep going whenever things are harsh. And it's a harsh industry, again, because of so many people and because it's only commission based, because it's so stressful. Persistence and mindset, basically. When I say mindset, I mainly refer here to believe that yes, you can do that. And if you really believe that, then you'll put all your efforts. You'll not be going maybe to see your friends for some time. You will not enjoy all the previous hobbies and activities, but you'll just fully focus on this job and you'll do whatever it takes because you believe you can. And that's what I've noticed, especially in our company. The highest sales performers, the top ones, are those who have that mindset.
So they have an open or an agile mindset, and they
Definitely.
also are very patient in terms of patient and persistent in what they're doing, so that they survive the tough competition that is there in the market. And how do you train people for this? Because I mean, isn't this something which comes naturally, or
I think it can be trained,
Mhm.
or maybe at least trained or learned with someone's guidance. First of all, it's making sure that you are aware of your weakness and what exactly is missing out. Seeing, first of all, what the other person has, not just thinking and looking at their years of experience. Because I see sometimes when a new joiner comes and looks at those top performers who are like, oh, but he has been in the market for 5, 10 years, 15 years. Oh, I can't do that. Yes, but you can't wait until you get that experience. You still need to do something. There would be people who are 1 year only in the market and maybe they manage to make the same amount of money as those who are 5 or 10 years. If they have that mindset, if they believe in themselves, if they really put all their attention into this work and they're just doing the work, basically. Yeah, it is possible with the right mindset. I've seen it.
Interesting. So a mindset very important, and they need to probably invent new ways to adapt and not get bogged down by people who have higher experience and just give up because of that. So that's a very interesting perspective. If we were to probably ask you, what was your one challenge that you had to change in yourself when you made the switch, what would that be?
What came to my mind now was adapting myself.
Mhm.
As I said that earlier, the training sessions were totally different in the other companies. I had to adapt the timing, first of all. And I had to also, like, this might sound vulnerable for me, maybe. I felt sad and upset many times when people wouldn't come to the training, though they would sign up. at the beginning, because if in other companies it's more you have to go and that's it and you have to stay there and so on. Here I took the approach of you're available, you join, just because their job circumstances pushes them to be more in the field and on the calls. It's more of an option to come for many of the trainings. Only a few of them are mandatory. So if they sign up, they want to join. However, there's a client who just calls you and says, I'm coming now, let's meet. So obviously they will prioritize the client because it's obvious. So I would get upset at the beginning and when I was joining, and I'm like, I had 10 people signing up and maybe 5 only would join, right? And I prepare for those 10. So I would take it personally at the beginning, but then slowly with time, I changed that mindset for myself. And I was like, it's okay. Don't take it personal. It's not that they don't come to your session, because they're messaging, they're coming on a following up, on a different one. So it's fine. I took it slowly. It's not personal anymore. So yes, I had to adapt to that and change that in myself.
And what kind of soft skills training do these people need when we talk from a real estate perspective?
So one of the most used one, let's say, or most common and things that we're also enjoying a lot is knowing the different behavioral styles of their clients and adapting to that. Because you are one person, normally you talk to everyone the same way you want others to talk to you, right? We know that. However, clients are different, right? And usually with whom is the easiest to deal is the one that has the same type of communication that you, same type of personality behavior. So you tend to have similar types of clients. So if you want to broaden your types or just be able to convince, because at the end of the day you want to convince them, then you need to adapt, to be flexible, to communicate differently with them. So that's one of the types of the trainings we do. Or another one that is also, let's say, famous in the in our company is also from a mindset point of view is setting goals and what kind of habits do you actually put for yourself in order to achieve those goals. So you're not just wandering randomly in this market, but you have one target and you are really going towards that target. And I've noticed when people join the company, because I do the inductions, I actually ask them what's their goal, what's their vision for the next 1 year. And what do they reply usually is, I just want 1 million. But this is something that is taken from someone else. Just it's a headline. Come to real estate and get 1 million. That's not enough as a goal, right? So just learning how to set that goal properly, write it down, and then what do you need to change? What kind of skills, what kind of habits do you need to adopt in order to get closer to that goal? It's something that not many people learn, or not many people are even aware that they need. So that's one of the training sessions that they attend.
So have you, maybe when you are taking training, since you have now experience of training so many people over a period of time, has it happened that maybe you have some participants who have come and you're able to figure it out that this person is going to make it and maybe this person is maybe needs more time or maybe may give up over a period? Do you get such intuition or judgment over a period of time based on your experience?
I think I tend not to do it. Because me as a coach, I see potential in everyone. And I think everyone can make it. However, do they really want it? Also, there's this perspective. Do they really want it? Or it was more of an option. Let me do it because there's nothing else to do. Or let me do it because my friend did it. So do they really want it? Like, is it an intrinsic motivation or it's more of an external motivation? So I prefer not actually even decide this person will do well or this person will not do well. Maybe if a manager asks me an opinion, how did they behave in the induction, then I could give and say, yes, I think they'll do well, just because they communicate a lot, they ask questions, they are engaged, they are eager to learn. Yes, they're curious about things. Those people, I would give maybe a little bit higher chances to succeed in the field compared to the ones who are maybe, you see that they're not interested. But still doesn't mean anything. Maybe they're not interested and later on they'll becoming interested.
Correct.
So I don't want to put a judgment on
barrier.
them and a decision that they will make it or not.
Also, from this, in fact, I got a question. If someone is maybe internally motivated to do great in this sector, or maybe he's just doing it because a friend probably asked them, or probably friend is doing it, so they just join in or tag on. So, which ones are successful over a period of time? Is it the ones who have internal motivation, or is it the ones who are just trying to figure it out over a period of time?
It could be both. Just because it depends what skills they have as well. If someone who has an internal motivation comes but they don't have maybe the basic communication skills, the sales skills, and they might struggle. They might need maybe more time until they get there. And because this job is a commission based, if they don't have enough amount of money to support themselves until they get there, then okay, maybe they'll make it, maybe not. And there's the other one who just does it because, I don't know, it's temporary, but they have the skills and they're easy with people and people trust them easily. They are likable maybe, and they learn fast, or maybe sometimes they don't need to learn so much. The basics are enough. They might do very well right from the beginning. Yes, I've seen the both.
So the reason why I asked this is because when you talked about engagement and other elements related to engagement, I had this question that how successful would, say, an e-learning course or a training be in real estate as compared to live session? And if your answer is, say, e-learning is more successful, then what about those who are not internally motivated? Because they may just sign up but probably end up maybe making a coffee while the program is going on, or do something else. So your thoughts on that?
I'm personally, I'm always pro live sessions. I don't like even myself to learn online. I always sign up for live session if there is the opportunity, because I'm a kinesthetic learner, for example. If someone else is okay watching videos and listening, just going through text, and they're committed to it, they'll really learn by themselves, then fine. Maybe they prefer that better than sitting with a group of people. Maybe they're actually shy and they don't want to be with those people. So it still can work for them. However, in my opinion, in real estate, because it's a human interaction based job, they would need to be in live sessions more than online. But again, maybe it's half here, half there. Why not? It's a combination. We do have also a learning platform in the company, and they have to do some courses online, and they have to also attend live. It's a combination.
Right. If in say they choose to go through some session which is in an e-learning format, how do you ensure learning happened in that?
It's through quizzes most of the times. That's why our e-learning courses are mainly technical, let's say. It's not based on behavioral styles, for example, because that would be a little bit harder to understand through quizzes. So it's pure factual, the quizzes and the courses.
So technical would be, for example, like maybe one or
From real estate, basically. Let's say the different, how the sales process is going, and they have to reply on different forms that they have to make a
Fill.
client sign, or they have
so
to
maybe
sign up.
more from an internal process perspective.
Correct.
Right. And in behavioral programs, when you conduct, these days Harvard and a lot of other schools have thrown open these leadership behavioral courses which are available online. If there is one course, if I ask you, or one program that I ask you, which should not be delivered in a online format, which is maybe in behaviorals related to a behavioral skill, which would that be?
When you said online in general program, public speaking came to my mind. But when I say public speaking online, it's only when there's no even interaction. So when you're just watching someone's video talking with you, and that's it, when there's no interaction at all, then I find this not that beneficial. The percentage of you developing something is very little, in my opinion.
And these days, there's a lot of talk about AI and other tools that are there. So I can imagine maybe every month, say 30 people coming in going through your training, or maybe every week 30 people coming in, depending on the real estate cycle that the market goes through. Is there some influence of AI in learning and development, or from a training perspective, that you feel, or would it disrupt over a period of time?
I haven't yet seen the negative impact of it much. Slowly, what I start noticing, and not only in the sessions or with my colleagues in general, is that people go to ChatGPT for too many questions. And I think this disrupts their own thinking. So they go there thinking it will help them, but if they do it too much, if they overdo it, then their thinking process starts decreasing and decreasing. Basically, you're relying so much on those answers, you almost do nothing. So the learning is actually decreasing with time. Yeah, we are not creating any more new neurons, new neural pathways, and that's when learning actually stops. You think you learn from ChatGPT, but actually it's the opposite with time, just because you're relying so much on every single thing.
True. In fact, the ability to think will go down, because for everything you're asking ChatGPT to do it. So maybe ChatGPT would become more smarter, but not you, because you're too dependent on it.
Yeah,
So
and what I've noticed recently, ChatGPT validates so much how you are. That means he will never challenge your thinking process. That means you can't really grow, you can't progress if you don't challenge yourself. So you will be sitting in that comfort zone. You think you're getting more information, but that information is not applied maybe just because you're staying in your comfort zone.
true. In fact, the reason could be probably also because the data set that it gets trained on. So many people, originally, when I think in 2023, 24, when those were early days of chat GPT, if you ask that, show me an image of a person writing with right hand, or left hand rather, it would always show an image of a person writing with the right hand, because the data set had all people, yeah, writing with right hand. So you're right in that way, that it has a fixed way of thinking based on what has happened in the past, and may not be able to challenge a situation, or challenge and come up with an open or a new idea.
Unless we see that, we are aware of that, and we create the prompt differently. Like recently, I've noticed that ChatGPT does that to me, and I said, challenge me, don't validate me. And then he said, okay, I'll do that. So and then I see sometimes I say some facts and he's like, no, you're not right. This is the better way. And sometimes he even puts a smiley face. It's like he remembers that I asked before, challenge me, and then he puts this smiley face.
Interesting. So you also are trying to challenge the chat GPT, not just
I'm challenging
participant.
myself at then, because if he keeps validating me, what's the point, right? How he's helping me actually.
Very true. And yeah, so that in fact brings us to this new way of looking at training. So if you were to make your life easy from training perspective, what part of your training could you automate, or could you give it to AI to do it? What would that one part of your training journey be, which you could comfortably automate, so that you don't have to go through the pain of doing that same thing again and again over a period of time?
Currently, I haven't used it to automate anything, to be honest. How I use ChatGPT for the training is only to see the different perspective. So if I don't have anyone around me from L&D field, how do I know that this is useful? I don't want to have only my opinion. I'm actually asking ChatGPT. However, I give him the prompt. Think like another trainer, like a coach, like this and that, or like a real estate agent, and see, is this useful or not? So from different perspective. So I want to see that, and this is how I adjust the training content and also activities. Just to I can play also with ChatGPT, say this activity, do it in that way, or maybe change here and there, or just give the whole flow. You tell me, how do you see it? Does it make sense or not? Just again, what's in my mind might be good, but when I put it out there, if I don't test it with him, I might have to test it to change maybe the session after the first time I deliver, which happens obviously because we always get better and better. We get feedback from attendees and we change things. But now I have to change less and less because ChatGPT is doing the trial for me.
Any funny answer that ChatGPT gave you to a question that you asked?
I can't recall now something, but I just just recently it was something that he did not validate for me, talking to the previous point, and I remember that he said he put this smiley face in the end. I don't remember saying exactly like what was the sentence, but it was basically giving me the eye, saying that you are not right this time.
Yeah. So, from if we were also to talk from maybe training or learning and development in general in say the Dubai market, I know that some of these are maybe from a product perspective. So, say if you say realistic, it's probably location which sells. Apart from that, what is it that differentiates say training or a participant in say a X company or a Y company? Like, what would be difference in say the participants who come in say your company or say any other company? What would be one difference that you could think of?
Let's say the simple thing, the simplest thing, or something that they always do: presentations of projects. They have to present the project. If we're talking about off-plan, they have to present projects from the developer. So it's not only the developer who needs a representative from a developer, but also the agent themselves. So what we do also in our company is public speaking and presentation skills. They are learning how to present. So don't do it just the way you think you're doing it right, but learn how to present in a more professional way. So I think this is already differentiating from someone who's just presenting the way they maybe seen it somewhere. But when you have a group, because we do it in a group session, and you get feedback not only from myself, a professional, but also from your colleagues, that means you're getting feedback on how your clients are seeing your presentation. So automatically you will improve even just after one session, because your presentation next time will be better. So I think this is one good point compared to those who just keep doing the same over and over, and then they're thinking, why does that person not listen to me? Maybe you're not presenting that well. Who knows?
True. And maybe if we were to talk from journey's perspective, so if you were to probably reflect on your journey over a period of time, what is that one thing that you could say that has changed in you as a L&D professional over say last 1 year?
So if earlier I said about overcoming this impulses of me getting upset or feeling rejected, to add on that, maybe would be even more flexibility in regards to being able to, because I'm gaining more and more experience, and because I'm going through so many people in the company, I adapt myself to the different types of people. So I am getting better and better at providing trainings for so many different types of people, so many different experiences. Because they're coming new joiners from very different areas. Maybe they are new joiners even from other countries. So I am making the training easier, engaging for so many types of people. I think I'm getting better and better at that. In my opinion, of course, and based on the feedback that I got, unless I'm delusional.
No, I'm sure you would be getting a very good feedback in your training. And I can make that out from the way you talk, and
Thank you.
I think also you crack jokes in between. So those are key traits of a trainer.
Right. If
Yeah.
you don't keep it light, they
Yeah.
won't come back. You need to entertain. Yeah, these are adults. Just like kids, you need to entertain them, but in a different way. Otherwise, we know they'll be on their phones.
True.
And you don't learn if you're on your phone. You're not focused, right?
Any maybe technique that you think you have learned maybe from your peers or you yourself have developed to make sessions more engaging over a period of time? Is there some technique that you use for that?
I normally make sure I talk less than them. I'm not the presenter, I'm not the professor, I am a facilitator, and I want them to think. So it's not me giving you the information, here you go, take it, read it out. No, it can't be like that. Through questions, through games, through activities, through different briefings after. I have different kind of card games also, like even in my bag I carry with me sometimes. It's just making you think differently. And seeing that also, making you aware, just like a small thing could be, but that small thing will stick to you, will stick with you for long, and later on you'll remember and you'll do something differently later. And it could be just a small thing, but I would rather have that one small impact than overwhelm you or maybe make you bored and just keep you in the session room just because you have to be there.
That, in fact, made me more inquisitive. Can you talk more about the game, card game that you're talking about?
You want me to take it
you
from
can,
my bag?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, you can.
So, for example, we have two games here, and here we just have cards. By the way, this is made by a friend of mine. I will ask you to pick a card, and this is what I do randomly in every training. I say either at the beginning or middle.
Okay.
Okay, you got a letter, right?
Yes.
Suyash, tell me a quality of yours that starts with this letter.
So, should I tell you the letter?
Yes, please.
Okay. So, the letter I got is M.
M.
Maybe one quality that I can think of is mentoring. So, is something which I see as coming naturally when I deal with people, especially those are participants. Yeah. So, this trait I think is which is a very common I can associate myself with, and I get a lot of satisfaction when I mentor participants or students in my training session. And especially when they come back maybe after 6 months or a year and say that, oh, you gave that example or remember my name over a period of time. I mean, that's something which gives me the satisfaction. Yeah.
Right. Take another one.
Hmm.
And now tell me one quality of an excellent trainer that starts with that letter.
It's K. And one quality which I feel that a trainer should have is the trainer should be knowledgeable and not just read from the presentation and make things very boring. So yes, so knowledge is very important and also should be updated about what's happening if it's a real estate or any other market that you're training people on. So the trainer should exhibit this trait.
I totally agree. So see what I've done just now quickly, and questions could be so different because if I were to ask you just give me few of your qualities, maybe you would have mentioned mentoring or maybe not. But just because I ask you with that particular letter, then I had to make you think a little bit, right?
It triggers a thought.
It triggers a thought. So it could be maybe a question regards to the topic of a training that I do, or maybe totally something else. Depends on the session. I would think about something. So one of the things that it does, it puts them in the moment. They are present and they have to think differently than before, right? And another thing, it's kinesthetic. It's there with them and they'll keep looking and maybe they'll think about something else. So that's one of the things that this cards particular, I use a lot. And these are different ones, either jokes. Sometimes I use metaphorical cards. Maybe I don't have them with me. Maybe if they have a question, look into the image and think about what can you find the answer of that question of yours in the cards and so on. So different sessions will be different things.
So this basically drives engagement in a
Definitely,
training
and
training session.
this is a small thing. Of course, there's proper activities like the role plays and writing things down and different other activities. This is just a small thing, maybe to begin with, or maybe in between somewhere, or after a break and so on.
Or when you see people looking at their mobile more, probably you'll switch to something like this to bring back their attention.
If they watch, if they look into their mobile, I ask them, "Are you okay? Are you with us?" And they, yeah. Because sometimes they just take it automatically. If they are on autopilot, they just check every single notification, and then they don't realize they are actually distracted. So I'm just making them aware. They put their phones down, and that's it.
In fact, the biggest problem is engagement over a period of time that I find in training sessions that are conducted. But this is something very interesting. I think this can really bring attention of people. Maybe also some tools which are available online like Kahoot or Mentimeter, which could also.
I tend not, rarely I use Mentimeter just because they will do whatever they need to do and then they'll go through their reels, messages and so on. So I tend to use it very little. Or even feedback forms, if they have to scan a QR code, for example, for anything, I don't know, are they still filling up the form or they already finished and they're checking their messages? So I would rarely use that.
So how would you take feedback then if they don't scan it
I do that, but at the end.
at the end?
And that's it, yes.
And you take it in a form format or?
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Yes.
Interesting.
There are lots of ways to engage. And I think maybe if you ask me again what happened in this 1 year, how you got better, I think through engagement, because especially as I mentioned, my colleagues, the real estate professionals, they are always on the go. They are rarely able to sit for too long in the same spot because they always tend to talk to someone or do something on their phone and so on. So I have to engage them. If there's no activity, no way they will stay.
I really like the card games that you showed me, and in fact you played with me as well. It
That's
made
how
me
we learn
think
from each other, right?
Yeah.
And that's another way to engage, just by them sharing their own experiences. And one of the biggest impacts that my trainings did in the company is actually connecting people, because not they don't meet unless they are in the same team, maybe. So they are meeting in my trainings and they get to know them each other during my trainings, and then they connect and they exchange knowledge and so on. Yeah. Or clients.
Interesting. In fact, in finance, we use training sessions where you make them play a simulation game, and it's a stock market game, just like maybe Monopoly kind of a thing. But here they buy and sell stocks, and then we bring in triggers in between, like say there is a tariff or the oil market crashed, or so on and so forth. And then their stock price, I mean, they have to buy and sell. So they would learn probably over a period of time using these tools. Or to teach maybe something more complex, we may use maybe online simulation. But
You,
yeah,
you need
engagement.
different games. You definitely need games. And now you reminded me, we used to play Mafia. You know Mafia?
Yeah.
So why Mafia is good for them? Because obviously they are dealing with clients and they need to be able to pick up on those emotions, on what the client is saying. Do they say really what they think or not really? Yeah. And also how to convince someone to be on your side, because that's what you do in Mafia. So this game, I've seen so much in this kind of games, like really those who are able to have a poker face regardless what card they're holding. So that's one game that helps indirectly in the job.
Interesting, very interesting. In fact, if I were to probably come to maybe a conclusion or to probably summarize this whole conversation, and you could correct me if I'm wrong in that people probably, whether they are from different sectors, have their maybe traits. So say aviation has more regulation oriented, so the trainings are also related to that. But at the end of the day, and real estate may be sales and other process related. So there are technical training and maybe personal training where you may train them on motivation, goal setting, and different traits that you want them to develop over a period of time. At the end of the day, they are people that you're dealing with, irrespective of the sector that they are in. And you as a trainer have to make sure that the learning objectives that you have laid down are delivered at the end of the day, and bring engagement by making them to talk and ask questions over a period of time. That probably should help achieve the goal over a period of time. So is that correct, or maybe you want to add something to it?
You're totally right. And I just wanted to add that you said it's people. This is what's the common thing, of course. And if just for real estate guys, they are meeting, their job depends on other people who are their clients. They need even more to be able to talk to those clients, to be able to convince them, to be able to understand them, to understand what they want, what they need, in order to tackle on those needs, right? In order to persuade them. And it's a little more about the psychology part than even just the sales and the numbers. An amazing, I don't want to say perfect, an amazing salesperson would know the real estate market, of course. Maybe not entirely, because things are changing. There's so many projects, you can't know all of them. However, real estate knowledge plus communication and people knowledge. If you want to just categorize them, it's people knowledge, understanding, and also even caring about those people.
Right.
If you really care to give your best and to help that person, then you'll become an amazing salesperson.
Thank you for giving your time to this podcast. And I think we really had a very interesting insight over a period of time while we discussed. So thank you.
Thank you so much for the opportunity.